Imagine your loved one, a bright, passionate nursing student with her entire future ahead of her, goes out for a morning jog and never comes back. Now, imagine the person responsible for this horrific crime isn't even supposed to be in the country. This isn't a hypothetical. This is the tragedy of Laken Riley, and it's the story that's become the rallying cry for a bill that says enough is enough. The Laken Riley Act, recently passed by Congress, isn't just another immigration law. It's a bold stand for justice and safety, making it clear that if you come to this country illegally and break our laws, there will be consequences. Today, we'll unpack why this law is a necessary step towards protecting Americans' lives, holding criminals accountable, and fixing a system that's been broken for far too long. Some tragedies are so devastating they demand action. Laken Riley's story is one of them. Laken Riley was a 22-year-old nursing student with a bright future. Her passion for helping others was clear in everything she did until her life was brutally cut short in February of 2024. Laken was out for her usual morning run on the University of Georgia campus when she was attacked and murdered. Her killer, Jose Ibara, was an illegal immigrant with a lengthy criminal record. He should have been detained and deported long before this tragedy, but thanks to lax immigration enforcement, he was free to take a life. Ibara wasn't just a one-time offender. He had been arrested multiple times, but each time he was released while awaiting trial. This was a man with no respect for the laws of this country, and yet the system treated him as though he did. The end result, a young woman with dreams of saving lives lost her own. Laken's story isn't just heartbreaking, it's infuriating. It's a glaring example of what happens when we allow immigration laws to go unenforced. And that brings us to the Laken Riley Act, an act that's designed to ensure tragedies like this never happen again. If a law can stop dangerous criminals from harming innocent people, why wouldn't we pass it? The Laken Riley Act is a straightforward piece of legislation with a simple goal: keeping dangerous criminals off the streets. Under this law, illegal immigrants charged with crimes like theft, burglary, and assault must be detained. And yes, this includes so-called minor offenses like shoplifting. Why? Well, after all, if someone is willing to break the law just by being here, and then willing to break the law even further by overt criminal act, it's only a matter of time before they could escalate to more serious crimes, which is exactly what happened with Laken Riley. But the act doesn't stop there. It also specifically gives states the power to sue the federal government if immigration laws are not being enforced. That means that when federal agencies fail to do their jobs, states now have the power to step in and hold them accountable. It's all about empowering local communities to take action even when Washington doesn't. And here's the thing, this particular bill isn't about targeting all immigrants. This act is about holding illegal immigrants who commit crimes to the same standards of accountability that apply to everyone else. The message is simple. If you break our laws, you will face the consequences. But of course, no good law comes without its set of controversy. So let's tackle some of those criticisms head on. The critics say that Laken Riley Act is too harsh. Let's break that down. One of the loudest arguments against the Laken Riley Act is that it's too harsh on illegal aliens. Really? Is it really harsh to say that if you're already here illegally and then commit crimes on top of that, you shouldn't be detained? This act isn't just about punishing people for their immigration status. It's about protecting the people from those who commit crimes, period. Another criticism of this law is that it violates due process. But let's clear this up. Detention isn't punishment, it's prevention. This is already common practice for U.S. citizens who are deemed to be a flight risk or a danger to others. The Laken Riley Act simply ensures those standards apply to all illegal immigrants who commit crimes. And then there's the funding argument. Critics claim that implementing this law will cost too much. And sure, law enforcement isn't cheap. But what's the alternative? letting dangerous individuals roam free because we don't want to spend money protecting our citizens, that isn't just irresponsible, it's unacceptable. Now let's look at the bigger picture. This law isn't just about individuals. It's about fixing a system that's been broken for decades. The Laken Riley Act, in the end, isn't just about one case. It's about reclaiming control of our immigration system. For years, the US immigration system has been a mess. Sanctuary cities, overcrowded detention centers, and lenient policies have created a revolving door for criminals like Jose Ibara. The Laken Riley Act closes that door. It says, if you come here illegally and then commit crimes on top of it, you won't slip through the cracks and you will be held accountable. And the act, importantly, also specifically empowers states to take action. For far too long, the states have been at the mercy of the federal inaction on immigration. By giving the states' attorneys general the ability to sue the federal government for failing to enforce immigration laws, the act ensures that local communities have a voice. And let's be clear, this isn't about demonizing legal immigrants. It's about protecting American citizens. There's nothing controversial about prioritizing the safety of people who live here legally, citizens and legal immigrants alike. But while the Laken Riley Act addresses the big picture, it's also a response to specific failures. Let's revisit a little bit more about what went wrong in the Jose Ibara case. Jose Ibara's criminal history wasn't a secret. So why was he free to commit murder? Let's break down the failures that led to Laken Riley's death. Jose Ibara had a criminal record that should have disqualified him from walking free. His first arrest for theft in New York resulted in a slap on the wrist. His second arrest for assault in Georgia ended the same way. In both cases, he was released pending trial, despite clear evidence he was a danger to the public. Worse still, these weren't isolated incidences. Ibara's ability to remain in the United States despite multiple arrests was the result of a broken system that prioritized political correctness over public safety. The Laken Riley Act is designed to prevent exactly this kind of failure. It mandates detention for anyone charged with crimes that indicate a threat to the community, ensuring that dangerous individuals don't get a chance to harm someone else. So what's the takeaway? Let's bring it home. The Laken Riley Act isn't just a law, it's a promise to every American citizen. The Laken Riley Act is all about accountability, safety, and justice. It's about saying that the lives of American citizens matter more than the comfort of those who come here illegally and then further break our laws. It's about fixing a broken system that has failed too many families, starting with Laken Riley's. Is this law perfect? No, but it's a necessary one. And if it saves even one more life, if it prevents one more tragedy like Laken's, then it's certainly worth it. But now it's time for you to weigh in. All right, everyone, it's time to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Should we prioritize public safety over concerns about due process for illegal aliens accused of crimes? Do you think states should have the power to sue the federal government over immigration enforcement failures, or do you think that that will create too much conflict? And here's the big one. Is the Laken Riley Act a bold stand for justice, or do you think the critics are right to push back? Leave your answers in the comment section below. I'm excited to hear what you think. Let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, I've been Uncivil Law, and remember to keep it uncivil out there.